Welcome to
Can
Humanity.
make it straight. Okay,
Yeah,
now we
welcome
go.
to Humanity Unboxed. Michael is having some technical difficulties with his camera.
Yes,
See, systems,
it's
devices.
system. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
wouldn't
So
it be cool if we can just connect
yeah,
on the metaphysical plane? Then we don't need the
exactly.
device.
Which we do anyway, but you know,
Yeah,
it is what it is. Okay, so
yeah. Well, it looks like a beautiful day on your side.
hmm how is
Yeah,
the weather in England? In England?
it was beautiful this morning, and now there's a storm coming over. So um, I went I went over to Nottingham on Friday to see a friend who her children were in a world championships of tug of war,
How
and
cute!
talking to uh, I
I
was
like
talking to
this medieval sportsmanship in England is beautiful.
yeah. Well, it's actually much bigger in South Africa. It's huge where I come from. Our
Yeah,
community or area kind of wins the gold medal usually for a certain kind of space in that. So it's very medieval, very weird for my kids to watch. They were extremely bored. But I was talking to this boy that came from South Africa and is mostly Afrikaans. And obviously, first time on an aeroplane, first time in a different country. And he mentioned how weird it is that people say this is summer, and he's had like 3 seasons already today. It was raining and the sun was shining, and all these things, which is very different. So that's where that came from.
no, no, that's how we
Yeah,
live life. That's by getting new experiences, not just what you
well,
read.
exactly.
It's just to
Yeah.
experience the
And
difference.
it's really nice to hear the innocence in the experience. So he was saying, because where I come from, English is only used in self defense. Like it is not a language that many people speak, in their daily lives. And he was saying how difficult it is
Yeah,
to understand the English, yeah, because what we learn is more of a book, like pronunciations are a specific
aggressive,
way, and
aggressive.
and yeah, it's very loose. It's very difficult to understand for us. But this is England, so you know, yeah,
Yeah,
with many spaces. So, Michael, our theme in the Wisdom Seekers this month is we're still with mastery. We haven't spoken the whole month of August. It was our theme then was being heard, and I found it quite ironic that in the month of being heard, even though we didn't speak, there was a lot of aspects of being heard embraced within that. Um, this month, we're moving towards loving thyself, love thyself. I don't know if I can't even like really, it's been so commercialized. It's one of those system words now, really. Love myself, run
yeah.
the bath, do do the things.
Help
Yeah.
and love myself. Help
Yeah.
and love. Help, help and love myself. Yeah. We talked about love before, and our perception is that, and I'm not talking about you. I'm not. I say what we came to the conclusion or whatever that the collective consciousness. So that's for everybody the same energy to get to that awareness, to the wisdom, to the what the collective consciousness has to give us, or what it is. It
Yeah.
is what is. Uh, the guide is love because it always gets you in that direction. So, for example, you say, "Hey, I want to, my wife, I love her, and whatever," and all of a sudden she
Mm,
leaves you. It's still on a high. So leaving and loving, it's still on a
mm,
higher plane love, because it is not what you imagine with our mind. Oh, it should just go and then we die when we're 100 together, which nobody dies together. They die close, but it's not going to be uh, it's not going to be the right. And she meets the right person, and you meet the not the right person, but it doesn't matter. Whatever the what the result is not interesting. It's the process
Mm.
of we going through. And you say, hey, I loved my wife and she died. There is no logic for this. There is no
No.
linear logic, from your kitty, there's no logic where you say, and that's why you have to open and embrace even the hard stuff, I think. To embrace it, because there is a message in there. And when you open it through your heart, you get the wisdom, not the brain, but the heart. We know that the heart has a better humane
Oh yeah.
knowledge than the brain. And so when we open and say, okay, logically, how do you digest that death? And then what does the heart say? The heart doesn't usually feel it. I mean, you feel it in your heart
Mm.
as a result, but the heart really doesn't. The heart knows it's always there. It's what is, and it's always there. There is no loss in that. That there is loss in the
Mm.
physical realm, but there is no loss in what is, in the collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Uh, I have lost a lot of good friends, and at the beginning it was really hard. The grieving period is important, that you let that go, that you loop that in your brain, the
Mm-hmm.
emotion,
Mm.
and not just saying, oh, it's like half. It's half. So you loop the whole emotion in the grief, and
Mm.
then right now I feel great. I mean, I have a dog called Russell
Mm.
that I really loved. It was a giant schnauzer, and I loved him. And he was waiting every day I walked home from school. He was waiting in the bushes, and he surprised me all the time. I, he was like, can I see him or not? So we played that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I saw him, and I said, I see you. And then he jumped because he couldn't hold it back.
Yeah.
And 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 I don't feel segregated from him at all. I don't feel segregated from very good friends. My best friend died. I don't feel segregated because and this is where you need your brain to
Mm.
understand it, that these people are just not physical, or these animals, or these loved ones. And of course, because you experienced them in the physical, it was it was also feeding the logical mind,
Mm.
because you actually fight with them, you love them, you have the greatest time, you have kids with them and whatever, and you experience that in the physical.
Mm.
So, it's very powerful when you actually bring it into the physical, a love, or find somebody in the physical. And when you lose that, of course, it hurts. You have grief. But instead of saying it's over, which it's never over, when you exist, it's never over. You're just on a different plane. And when you can get um, to that resonance,
Mm.
of that animal, of that person, of whatever, then you feel good. I mean, there's people that have major grief when somebody steals their car, and
Yeah.
it's a car.
Yeah.
It's a
Exactly. It's a thing.
because what they experienced with this car, they had their first kiss in this car, they had this, and they feel tremendous. Think that a part of them is gone, and
Mm.
it's never gone. Is it it's because it's your reflection, and it's never gone.
Yeah. And that kind of brings me to that love without condition. Certain people love us in certain ways, or people or animals. With animals, love is much more without condition because they don't need to do anything for us to love them. It is it is a amazing bond that is created kind of without that, well, you didn't bring me flowers, or you didn't make me coffee, or you whatever it is, is the conditions we create in the human connection.
Even if you don't kiss me, or you didn't do this, you did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there is so many conditions because it was used over generations to manipulate people. Who
Yeah.
loves you really truly? God loves you really truly, not human. You know what I mean? It's like,
But which God now? Is that the one that strikes you down
exactly,
if you did
yeah.
the wrong thing, or is that the
But
God? You know what I
you know
mean?
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
what is the right love? There is no right love. It's
Mm,
the access point to the collective. That's,
yeah.
I always say, it's the vibration. If you feel love, you open your heart,
Mm,
because that's where the heart chakra, that's the heart thing. You open the heart, and that gets you to the wisdom of of what is. And
yeah.
that's what thing. And for everybody it looks differently. You know, everybody experienced that different, the way there, because what is limitless.
Mm.
So your connection to what is also limitless. That's what.
Yeah, but by opening your heart, you become vulnerable because in that aspect of love,
Mhm.
if we can't find a better word for it, because it's more than the love that you know.
I call it connection. It's the
Yeah,
connection to the what is. You know, it's
yeah,
the guide. It's
yeah.
the direction.
In essence, what we are,
Yeah,
in
the one of one. The
without
one of one.
the rules and the hoops to jump through and the, well, you supposed to and I'm supposed to
Yeah.
and the whatevers. Um, yeah, and I've lost my train of thought now, but
No, no, no. You know what it is? It's uh, the what is above 8 billion people. What is the, like, good and bad. What is above good and bad?
yeah.
And love is the connection where we can actually touch what's above us, above humanity. What
Mm,
is, or animals or beings? I
mm,
would say probably beings. It's that guideline or rail that we can hold on to, find closer. That doesn't mean we go all the way.
mm,
We get closer to that, above us. And that's
yeah,
what systems want to. They want to construct it linearly, but then humans are not linear. They're non-linear, and nature is not linear either.
mm,
So you cannot really make something that's not linear. That's you can be very surfacey, which we know from systems. It's very
yeah,
surface. It's not.
yeah.
It, and we say deep. It's actually high. It's
Mm.
it's a
Well,
higher
it's like
frequency. It's a higher
as
frequency.
yeah, but as above, so below. So
Yeah,
everything that pulls us in deeper
is
also
yeah.
helps us extend our
Mm-hmm.
consciousness or our
Mm-hmm.
level of experience
Mm-hmm.
um, of yeah of the things. And I think just talking about humanity as a concept, humanity as a concept for me is much bigger than humans. It's kind of our connection to the environment, the trees and the animals and the whatever with us. So it's not just us on our own as human beings.
Yeah.
Um, it is us in this mycelial connection to everything and
Yeah.
everyone around us. And it's uncomfortable to be open to all of that because it is a
It
cruel.
wouldn't be, because there is islands where animals are not afraid of humans.
Mhm.
There's, the
Yeah,
I
as
don't know
they
what
should
this
be.
Galapagos or something. Some island is where the animals, the birds are not afraid, and they come,
Mhm.
and you can have cockatiels or something there, on
Yeah,
your hands and stuff,
yeah.
and and so yeah, that's really. And I heard something from a friend of mine that he explained that the science has found that everything in nature is, and I found that interesting. I don't know if, I have to ponder it and experience it more,
Mm,
but that's in nature. What nature supports is nothing what kills or dies. So when you look at grass, there's
mm,
800, 900 different sorts of grasses. The problem when you put weeds in it, that, which is systemic. That's not, when somebody puts weed in, then it takes over. But in general, or when somebody brings an animal to an island, and the island all of a sudden has all snakes, or all, these things, that's human made. That's of will.
mm,
But in generally, 800 or 900 different grass species are on a meadow,
Yeah.
and they're not fighting each other. They just existing where they exist.
Mm,
And that's why he said, in general, nature doesn't support anything that doesn't that doesn't cannot exist, because it is exist because it's like humans. We exist. We cannot. We have a free will and can kill us, but that doesn't mean we don't exist.
mm,
Means we're still not existing on the physical plane, but we are on other level. We Once you exist, you exist. There's never a question that you are not worthy. There's never a question you shouldn't exist. There's
mm,
never a question, why do I have suffer?
mm.
This is whatever you are. You know.
But yet systems are the ones that tell us we are not good enough because we didn't
Because
fit
it's
the
about
box
money, yeah.
to, I listened to something you sent me this morning
Yeah.
around the schooling system, especially, life, I suppose. Life, like how other people seem to be able to live it and that I just don't get, is like you go to school, you told to ask for permission to do, follow instruction, do the right thing, check if, all that stuff. Um, and that makes us feel smaller and smaller because, especially if we can't figure out why and how this is supposed to work, because it doesn't work, um, now you're suddenly not worthy. You This is why we talk about love thyself, because we wouldn't talk about love thyself if we didn't feel that we weren't loving ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Now, because let me give you a different perspective. So we know, I mean, people that wisdom and philosophers know that our world is a reflection, and when you actually use that when you go really upset in the morning, and then this goes wrong, and that goes wrong, and that goes wrong,
Mm,
is the thing that it doesn't work. When you're up there, you feel everything works till you say, no, it shouldn't work anymore. Now I need to get the rug pulled underneath, because that's the conditioning that don't be too sure of yourselves, don't be too strong.
mm,
And I say that you have to, why self-love? I say because self-love is also giving love to you, because if you give to your reflection reflects back. So if you give to humanity, if you give to what you are, to what is, it's self-love. It's not just I cut myself off of humanity and everything else, and I just get all the money, all the candy, all the cars, all the stuff, and I'm give it to me. That is systemically thing. When you give to others, when you are open to others, when you feel that you are part of others, you literally give love to your reflection, and that's self-love. So
mm,
it's not just self-love. Then when you give yourself love and
mm.
say, no, only I, that's selfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this you need to see that you are you, one of one, and what you experience, your perspective, is a reflection, right?
Mm,
And once if you give to yourself, you now say, no, I can't give that away, or whatever.
mm,
You have to know your needs, basically: oxygen, water, sleep, all this stuff, and community. But it is the balance of giving and receiving is the because you experience a beautiful reality. That's You cannot not receive that.
yeah.
You cannot not receive when we go in. Like, look at behind me. I mean, if you see that,
Mm,
that's you getting it. You cannot say, I don't want to accept. Yeah, I can put blinders on and not look, yeah.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I still hear the animals and everything too. So it's not bad to give to others, and instead of saying, yeah, there's the others and there's me. I'm not saying you should give to somebody you don't want to give. I'm not saying
Well,
this.
yeah, the whole point is not to give someone, you know, um, for me, self love is to love others or myself enough to say, I love you, but I don't need to be around you.
Exactly. Yeah,
Um,
to go
yeah,
for that far, to get that far wisdom that you actually say, I love this person. But I mean, this often with men, right, or partners. You
yeah,
love the person, but when you're together, there's something that's not working,
yeah,
and you say, I love him, but every time I'm a wreck after we hung out. So
mm,
I think that I think that giving to others, also when you are loved, that's beautiful. But actually, the loving is much a better feeling. So when you have helped Josh here or somebody, your kids, you have helped them, and you see they get that turns them on. You can
mm,
never feel that good for yourself. That is the self love. That is basically that is absolute self love. You help these kids to be who they are
yeah.
without
Even if we
and
take help away. So if we say I enjoy them enough to support them, kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And then
because
when you get the feedback
mm,
that, oh my God, he washed his hands before. I mean, it goes that simple. He washed his hands
yeah,
before the thing, and not because he follows, because he really believes that you have to have clean hands when you eat.
yeah,
That is, I think, a love, self love that you get. That's why teaching is so rewarding for me.
could be.
When
Yeah,
I see what it does to people, when
yeah,
they find themselves, when they not make my art, but when they make their art,
hmm,
and they keep thriving.
mm, yeah,
I think that's so much self love. There's, when teachers say, people are there, no, there's so much love in that. That's a love game, literally. Supposed to
yes.
be.
Well,
Supposed to be.
living is the love game supposed to be, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yes.
there's a lot of experiences that show us differently. You know,
Hmm.
like um, I suppose the thing is to open up, so a
Hmm.
lot of people have been hurt or don't know that it's maybe even an option to be open to love or connection or each other. And it creates, we're busy watching a series, I can't remember what it's called, Washington Black, something like that, about a little boy that lived in Barbados, and he was on the cotton fields or the whatever, working as a slave pretty much. And this one man saw how intelligent he was, and he could draw. He was an artist, really, and a scientist, and all these things. But this one man who was British, part of this colonialization element, but human, completely human centered. And he took this little boy, and all the stuff that they went through is kind of, they had to run away, and they built a hot air balloon. I mean, must be in the 1800s. I don't know the timeline, but it is. And then just to see the division in everywhere that they came, and how they, as this little black boy and this white Englishman, um, and all his preconceptions on, the royal whatever,
Yeah.
how they could bridge these things up to a certain point, where they, it's this dance, I suppose, really, with how society runs itself and how we want it to run itself. And it's interesting to see from that perspective, as to, he then falls in love with a um, woman from the islands who is being put forward as being white. It's very much white and black kind of lines that are become really blurry, and kind of, why are we doing that again? Why are we classifying people according to their skin color? Um, and
I mean,
yet,
it's not your fault. It's not a choice. It's not a
no,
choice.
no, but there's nothing wrong with
You
it
get
either.
punished because you exist.
Yeah,
You get punished because you exist, and you're not
and we all
fitting the
do.
cog. Yeah.
Doesn't matter. I mean, this is just an example of the skin color thing, but then there's I was on the phone this morning with Amazon support, and the guy said something that upset me. I'm quite emotional at the moment. And he was so apologetic, and he said, well, I'm autistic and I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it that way. And I said, well, there's nothing wrong with that. But the moment that it opened up the conversation as to I am different in this world, then I can go, well, hang on a minute, so am I, and it doesn't actually matter. So we're just two humans
Yeah.
having a conversation.
One of one.
No one
One
is
of one.
right or wrong. It's just how we are perceiving each other within
Yeah.
that space. And I'm bringing my stuff and you bringing your stuff. But if we can kind of blur the lines as to I'm this and you that, then immediately we can talk to each other,
Yeah.
and we can solve things.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
is no mistakes. There is no thing. Mistakes are exactly a success. They're exactly the same weight of success. We just judge success as success,
Mm,
not failure. Failure and thing. There is no good or bad. What is above good or bad is to be. You know,
yeah.
and that we call it still human beings, not human doings,
Mm,
and that's what is so important, that we remind ourselves that we are one on one. There's nobody right or wrong. We got to figure out how to get in balance, because you cannot have light without dark. In order to see, you need to see both, and you need to be in the thing. That doesn't mean you embrace the dark. We know that light is always stronger. You don't have to embrace the dark, but in the dark, I from the art, I have learned tremendous stuff in art, and see the light in art, in dark art, for example.
yeah.
I
Well,
see a lot.
I embrace the dark because I think it's a very big part of who I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't have the one. It's the same conversation we have with feminine and masculine, or light
Yeah.
or dark, right or wrong,
Exactly.
good or bad. If we move towards non-duality, though, then we also, I think, need to realize that that makes the I drop away. The
Yeah.
importance of that I ego, because there's no you and I even in that then, because
Yeah.
that's also duality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see, the more I see I'm not important, not as you
Yeah.
being put down, the more I see I'm a part of it's all. The And we always talk about art, and I said, I'm not the creator of that 3,000 paintings. I just came through me, and I opened up and allowed them through. And
Mm.
the more I see that it's not me that is the power or whatever, to peaceful I become, and to more literally, to also more reflection of being powerful comes in. The more I really live of, it's not about me, it's not about my status, it's not about my fame, it's not about this. It is just, I'm a part of all, and everybody is a reflection. And I like that. I think this one lady said, I think Dolores Cannon said, when she was in airports, she says, "What do I create all these people for?" As a reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Why?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's beautiful. It's just, life is beautiful. It doesn't matter what happens. You got to just, because the event is neutral, whatever you make out of it. And when I give people just a different perspective, they start seeing that this, yeah, I can see it this way or that way.
Mm.
You know, the
Yeah.
it's my reflection. It's not yours. It's in
Yeah.
my reflection. This is positive. In your reflection, this is negative.
Mm.
That's okay. That's your free will.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's a lot of grief, though, in loss. There's a lot of loss at the moment in general. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's in my world, but there's a lot of loss. Um, and as you say, it is part of, the reflection, and it's a natural part of the cycles. Doesn't
Yeah.
make it easy, though, for the ones that
Makes it easy. And the more you understand, and the more we are aware, the easier it makes it, though.
yeah.
If
Well,
you if
the
you if
more.
I'm grieving,
Mm,
only the first short thing is the grief. I'm missing that. But then the more I know, the faster I get back on my feet. And also what I see, because that's true. It's a lot of grief. I mean, we killing 1,700 people in Ukraine. I mean, this
And
is
Palestine, I mean,
from everybody. Don't you think that we all let this grief go, because we are all interconnected?
yeah,
So you can't even let the grief go if you're alone there. We help each other to let go the old stuff, and you know
mm,
we are all the thing. And this is thing. People say, "Oh, you voted Trump, you voted Hitler, you voted that." No, yeah, we voted for them, and they are of our collective. If there wasn't Trump or Hitler or Mussolini or anybody, there would be somebody else there and did the same thing. It's
mm,
collective what we need to let go and what we need to let through. So there's a lot of grief. We kill so many people, and we don't even. I mean, look at how numb we are. We don't even want to think about it. The thing. Don't show dead people. Don't do the. Everything is hidden,
yeah,
and we just keep eradicating from the physical,
yeah,
and and that it still has a feeling because it's part of us. So it has to come through us. That grief that you felt might have not even been all about the killing. It might have been about something else that
oh
you
yeah, no,
brought in.
yeah,
She was
true,
just the indicator to let that. She was just your thing where you could let it go.
yeah,
Through what you let it go, and I understand that.
mm,
You know,
yeah. Well, it's part of being human, though, isn't it? As well, moving
it's,
through these things is hard. We've just had a friend that crossed over and left a whole family behind. Um, so, to watch and to be there for people unconditionally, whether I need to
yeah,
come and take you out of bed for rugby practice, or whether I leave
yeah,
you in bed and sit next to you, or make you tea, or whatever it is, to be there unconditionally, um, to let you be like you have with me, very very gently, and I appreciated it very much. It's not about, oh, you should do it this way or you should do it that way. It's such a personal
I can't.
experience. Yeah,
How can I do when you're one of 8 billion? How can I say what's right or
yeah,
say what's wrong? It just is. It
yeah,
just is. And I, in that moment, in that nowness, what is, I'm gonna do the best that I can, and I trust that my creativity allows me to do the best I can in that moment.
yeah.
So
Another beautiful part of creativity, though, isn't it, is that there's
wonderful.
a flexibility in that
Yeah,
as to how we see each other
yeah,
in who we are.
yeah.
Yeah,
And would you not have felt? Would you have chosen, if you can choose, not to feel the grief? I would never. There's so much in the dark too. Where I say we see it's not even dark. It's just a part of being human that you get born and you die.
yeah,
And I the grief that I felt was I told you this before. I wondered always, how is it when the person that you love with everything, like my ex-wife,
yeah,
uh, when something bad happens to her, and something bad happened to her, so I didn't want to have that experience because it was much more frightened the experience to not know than actually experience the experience.
yeah.
You know, it
Well, yeah,
was much more frightening it was the unknown was so, and my recent stuff, the unknown is so bad
mm,
because because all your creativity is in the fear. See, all the when you take out the creativity, when you segregate the energy of fear, and you take out the creativity, that's how you can collapse fear. You just take
mm,
all the creativity and feel it in, because there's so much thing, and everything you fear doesn't come true. Not everything. It's you have to do 100,000 things, and then see, I said, and that's actually that's
yeah,
manifesting your belief. But it just is. the creativity in all this is amazing, because again we are collaborative, creator species of nature.
Mm.
You see in the dark, in the pain, in the anger, in the suffering. If you don't just see it, oh, it's bad, I want to run away from it, but rather, I want to get the most positive out of it.
Mm.
Life becomes much more handleable, that you can handle it.
Yeah, there's also a lot of things in it that become meaningless, though.
Yeah,
When you go through whatever trauma triggers old traumas, and once you've moved or are busy moving through these things, all the bullshit stands out in the world.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. Like saying everything is money. What can you cannot eat it. You cannot think. So if not somebody gives you some food for money, money is nothing.
yeah.
And this whole thing, there's a big value thing coming in, wave of value, that we redefine value for humans. I mean, you see it with crypto and everything, that
Mm,
what is worth something,
yeah.
and this is, you saw in Uganda all this $34 trillion gold they found in Uganda. So all of a sudden the gold price drops, because the thing is,
Yeah.
so it's
Oh,
all a perception. It's not, because we are not appreciating what is. We are not appreciating the other humans. We only do the thing, and it's not outside. Value is not outside. It's inside. You
yeah.
know.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank you.
once again, as
Was
always.
very, very. It was a little. It was a little bit thing, but we
Mm,
have to talk about that too and find out the gold in the dark. The light
yes.
and the gold in the dark. We have to. Otherwise, we would be phony and say, "Oh,
Exactly, and we're moving at the moment in the northern hemisphere. We're moving into the dark, not just figuratively, but you know, um, and I don't know. I feel that mainstream whatever is so focused on the light. There's so much value in the dark. That's where the seeds grow, and that's where
yeah,
our roots go down through the darkness of the soil.
exactly,
Um, you can't separate it. We can't remove the shadow. We have to embrace it. For me,
yeah,
that's
yeah."
my
Me too. I only can live by embracing the shadow.
yeah,
Not. I I I I would not have been alive today if I wasn't embracing the
yeah.
shadow in my life.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Love you millions. Thank you so much.